Whoa, nah, yo. We are here with the Das Broke injury report. You don't want to see your players on this show. You do not want to see your players on this show. What this show entails is we're just going through the biggest injuries around the league. There is no game plan. There is no debates about user skill, coaching moves, and all of that. We may discuss depth chart. Um, if we must, if there's a big injury, like myself, I'm going without Jalen Ramsey. He's one of the best corners on the game. I'm going without Jalen Ramsey for this entire season. So we might venture into depth chart in that situation. But when there is a big injury that drops, I'll be here to report it. So let's get straight into it. Some of the biggest injuries around the league right now, a lot of them are pre-existing. But right now, let's go to the latest and greatest injuries. I wouldn't say great, but the latest injuries around the league. We'll see. My Madden is sometimes off, but there is a lot of big names on this list. I mean, a lot of big names on this list. One of the biggest names, of course, is Jalen Ramsey. He's been out, since the season started. But one of the next biggest names on this list is Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry. Scary Terry out there in Washington with the Commanders. Got a little turf toe. It's a 1 week injury. Usually turf toe is going to keep you out, I don't know, 1 week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Depends on your pain threshold. But to be missing Scary Terry is definitely it's not good. He's one of those deep threats, of course, in the league, and he can stretch the team. Pause. He can stretch the defense. That's crazy. He can stretch the defense, down the field. He can run every route on the route tree. You always going to miss that type of player. Next on the list, we got, I really don't worry about linemen. I feel like most of us replace linemen pretty often. However, when it's a guy like this, when it's a guy like Andrew Thomas at the left tackle position, you miss this guy. And yeah, the way pass rush is garbage this year. You don't want a 59 overall out there getting abused when you had a stud like Andrew Thomas. So I'm just going around the top injuries in the league, and that's it. Now this next injury, I don't know when it happened. I actually didn't hear about it. Let's make sure my Madden is correct. But Joey Bosa, broken ribs, he's probably been out for 3 weeks already. Broken ribs usually keeps you out for 4 to 6 weeks. In this digital realm, they're probably going to do 4 weeks, because if they did real injuries, return links, it probably would be a little bit crazy. We all would have players on IR. But Joey Bosa set to return, I believe, next week for the Chargers. And next week, who do the Chargers have? It ain't me. So I'm happy about that. You hear me? Moving on. This next injury, man. It's funny. I guess people do talk about injuries. But it's not something that's, glorified around the league. People are really not going to be like, look at this, man. I'm going to tell you like this. This sucks. This is the type of situation where you're going to see me let's go to the 49ers roster. Man. This really and truly sucks. For them to lose Debo and Brian, I believe that's their top two receivers, for 4 to 6 weeks. That's crazy. You hear me? Now they got these guys, that, jeez them. Listen, I don't know who the 49ers play in the next 3 to 4 weeks, but I'm picking whoever they playing. Serious. Ray, hold on. Hold on. Pause. Hold on. Listen. I don't listen to Madden soundtracks. I mute that shit. Okay? I've never heard one single bar. As soon as I buy the game, I load it up, buy the game, load it up, then I mute the music immediately. But a song came up, and that shit said Ray McLeod as an artist. Now, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I didn't know he's a rapper. I didn't know he was out here, dropping fire flames. I didn't know. But is there? Y'all let me know. I'm an old head. I don't really listen to rap like that. So uh, if he's a good rapper, somebody let me know. Because the song was muted. But I saw Ray McLeod pop up. Please tell me it was the title of the song. Or is he out here on this Damian Lillard? Damian Lillard can actually rap. He could actually rap. But this situation here is crazy, man. This is crazy. I don't know. I don't know what you would do. Does he have he at least has McCaffrey in a good backfield, but jeez him. He also has this guy. But jeez him, your two best? That's like when I had the Denver Broncos, man. That's tough. That's a tough situation, man. But that's definitely broke. That's definitely broke. Let's move on to I don't know if this is pre-existing. I don't know if this is a pre-existing injury, but for a team that's already struggling, do you really want to see a list like this? Do you really want to see a list like this, man? Where, some of your top players on the squad, maybe even team captains. Yes, we got a team captain here. It is out several weeks. I'm going to pray for the Eagles, man, because this is tough. This is rough. With that coach coming off the cycle that he had last cycle, and then getting a team like this, you kind of want to make a statement. Yeah, this ain't going to help you make a statement right here. Losing a couple of the best offensive linemen in the league. And then one of the best tight ends in the league for several weeks, man. That is tough. But that's definitely broke. Let's move on. After that, there's a pretty steep drop off as far as players that actually bring value to the game. Now, there's still very high overall players, but however, some of the positions that these players are in, some of the ages of these players, is not as impactful. But we'll definitely go down the list. You got Leonard Williams, defensive tackle in Detroit, who's out 4 weeks with an abdominal tear. That's usually gonna have you out 4 to 6 weeks, of course. So that's a notable injury around the league, and that's definitely broke. And then this one right here, Neff he's making his way at the end of the cycle. At the end of the cycle, he made a statement. I can play, just need a team that's going to, do what I tell them to do. So it's unfortunate. After building such a team that he built last cycle, he has to literally start over. And I know maybe he wanted this team, but he has to literally climb back up that ladder again. Calais Campbell, I don't think he's a superstar anymore. Yeah, he is. He's a superstar. So he's a force in that middle. He could single-handedly stop a lot of people in this league. Everybody in this league, their playing style is, some people take shots. You know what I'm saying? Some people take shots, and some people inside zone you to death. Some people really run the same name of the plays over and over. Some people, I don't know who, but he can literally shut down a lot of people in this league single-handedly because of that inside stuffer. But they're saying dislocated elbow, and guess what? That's definitely broke. Let's move on to the we got more linemen on this list. We're getting kind of into the area of some of these people don't even start. With the Cleveland Browns, though, I don't know how their offense is, but this is a player that you're gonna miss in your offense. Broken ribs. That means he's been out 3 weeks already. He's been out 3 weeks already, and he'll now be returning, I believe, next week. So I know the Cleveland Browns are going to be happy to have that. I don't know what their performance was like last week, but I expect it to improve a little, getting a weapon back. But broken ribs, yeah, that's definitely broke. Now we're moving on. Let's see what we got here, man. We're not even going to report David Montgomery, 87 speed running back, a fullback, a fullback that's injured. They're not going to miss that broken collarbone at all. They're not going to miss him in their offense. Trust me. Here's a guy that stays on the list. He stays on the list. At what point, as a team, do you give up on a player that can't stay on the field? That's a serious question. That's a serious question. At what point? At what point? Hold on. Let me go into chat kind of and ask this question too, man. Answer this question. I want some people to pop in the chat, pop in the stream, and answer me this question. At what point do you, as a coach, give up on a player? So, just an example of that. I'm a Saints fan, right? I'm a Saints fan. There is players like uh, Kirkwood. There's players like Kirkwood that's always hurt. Most of our wide receivers. There's Traquan Smith always hurt. There was some linemen. I think Granderson didn't really stay hurt that often. Uh, but Pete. There's a few players that's always hurt on that Saints roster. Um, to me, I just need one season of you not being available. This is the NFL. I don't need. This is the NFL. I don't need. I could care less about what you could do in the future. Put it like that, because I could get fired tomorrow. So for me, anytime someone has a long injury, if you haven't proven yourself, like if you're Alvin Kamara, you damn near got franchise records, then shit, I'll IR you, I'll let you sit, I'll do all this. But if you're a young player and you come in and you show me that you're injury prone, my brother, best of luck to you. But we need people that can get on the field. And I understand football, injuries is a part of the game. But, so is being traded. So is being traded. So it's a little harsh sometimes, but that's how I feel. Uh, we're moving on, but yeah, he had a dislocated hip. Yeah, he's out 7 weeks. Guess what? That's definitely broke. This next one is a player that I might move to get on my team, and he's one of the big steppers in the league. But my boy Isaiah Pacheco and this young guy, he had an abdominal tear, so he's probably coming back. But losing Pacheco for 5 weeks, he probably had a 6 week injury. But losing Pacheco for 5 weeks, definitely sucks. That sucks. Um, Pacheco is one of those guys that can get busy. He can catch underneath routes. 93 speed, outside zone, get a depth, counters. He can toss, sweep, all that. He can do it. He can get the job done. So a player like that, you definitely miss in your system, in any type of system. And hopefully he gets back on the field soon. We play them in 2 weeks, I believe. We played him in 2 weeks. He won't be back, and what a blessing that is, because that's definitely broke. Uh, who else we got? Man, we got GP. We got the next injury. I'm almost done with this list. Once you get below 80 overalls, I really don't. I really don't care. Um, I don't think these are impactful players, but this guy is. This guy is. Um, and he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the guy we're talking about is George Pickens. George Pickens seems to have gone down with a hip pointer. I think hip pointers was a week-to-week injury on the last Madden. I'm not sure, but when sometimes week-to-week literally means 4 weeks, but they just got to say week-to-week to kind of keep the other team worried. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's George Pickens, losing George Pickens for 1 week with a hip pointer. Back in my day, we playing with a hip pointer. That's nothing. It's nothing, man. It's nothing. Some guys around the league that are always Tim Patrick in Denver has an Achilles tear. He's always hurt. That's unfortunate. I actually watched that not too long ago. For a guy like him who's coming back from knee injuries, finally feel healthy, finally feel 100%, to then have your Achilles tendon tear, that is tough. He's 29 years old, and I don't know how much drive he's going to have when he comes back from that type of injury. I guess we could get to my team, because one of my players, we already discussed one of my biggest losses on the cycle, and that's Jalen Ramsey. But Teron Armstead, one more week till we get him back. We lost Baker last week, broken ribs. So hopefully he's able to return soon. We plan on making the playoffs. We plan on making the playoffs, but we'll see how this goes. We gotta get some consistency around the facility. But knee cartilage tear, torn labrum, broken ribs. That's definitely broke. That's definitely broke. And that's it. That's all of the major injuries around the league. It's cool to see that a lot of these injuries are not holding teams back. I'm just going through one time so y'all can see what the injuries look like from a overall sort. It's good to see that these main injuries are not these injuries are not holding teams back. A lot of these teams that you see with big injuries are still having decent seasons. They're making moves, they're making it happen, and you love to see that, because you don't want to see sometimes injuries. They bring the team morale down. Then the coach starts accepting losing. Then the fans start accepting losing, and it's not good for the league, So to see these people who have these big injuries like this still battling it out. This one is one of the worst. The 49ers. I might write an article on this. Overcoming this obstacle will be tough for the 49ers. We'll see how that works out for them. But as far as the 49ers and the Eagles are a couple teams besides myself that have very, very, very key players on their injury list for long periods of time. So you might see a Dash Broke article coming soon to kind of spotlight these coaches and to spotlight these coaches and kind of see where their head is at, see how they're dealing with these injuries. We know what the athletic trainers are thinking. Yeah, we're gonna get them back on the field, but what are the coaches thinking? So find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. That's that's broke episode 1 actually. Week 7 episode. I ain't even gonna label these as episode 1. I'm gonna just say this is the week 7 episode of That's Broke. And the next episode, I'll probably have a couple coaches on that have big injuries around the league that are similar to my own team's injuries, the Eagles and 49ers, and see how they're coping with such big players being out of their game plan. Y'all be cool. Peace.